example, is Glenn Rubenstein from Video Game Spot, part of our corporate family. Welcome.
Thanks.
Is vibration in games really something new?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, other companies have tried it before with like a third-party add-on that would feel the bass vibrations, or a game, or actually a vest.
When you say a third-party add-on, what's that?
Oh, that's a company that's not affiliated directly with Nintendo, Sony, or Sega.
But they sell the peripheral.
Yeah, it's essentially someone, you know, they were sort of going through it through the back door of saying, okay, well, if we feel the bass vibrations, that's how we'll add to the game. But the difference with something like the Rumble Pack is that Nintendo is saying, here's a specific peripheral that we're going to program games for and support within the game. So it's not just some cheesy way, you know, to feel the bass vibrations off a game.
Tell me a little bit about this game, Starfox.
Starfox 64 is a sequel to a game called Starfox that came out on the Super Nintendo about 4 years ago, and it really showcases what the Nintendo 64 can do. It's a 3D flight game where you're essentially flying around trying to save the universe by blasting away bad guys.
How does it differ from the original?
Well, the original was pretty much the same concept, except in this one, if you look at the graphics, you have something that's just stunning 3D visuals with great effects, you know, and it's really high resolution, really fast pace, and to be honest, it ends up being a much better game than the original, and part of what adds to that is the Rumble Pack, where if in the game, every time that I use my turbo, or I get hit by an enemy, or I bump into something, I feel this vibration. And sometimes it's distracting. In fact, when you first play it, you're like, whoa, is my pager going off or something? But after a while, you know, you get used to it, and when you're in a really intense dogfight, every time you take a shot, you know, you're affected by it.
All right, let me try this. Can I
go for it?
All right. Now, you know how bad I am at video. Well, I see. The more you run into things, the more it vibrates.
So when you played, you just
it feels exactly like a pager going. Oh,
yeah.
That's kind of mean, Glenn. Oops, hit something else. Okay, now, if this didn't really sell before, when people made chairs that would vibrate, or vests that would take punches for you, what makes them think the Rumble Pack, I'm hitting everything. It's hard to do this and talk. What makes them think that the Rumble Pack is going to sell?
Well, the great thing about the Rumble Pack is it comes packaged with every copy of Starfox 64. So Nintendo's already guaranteed an audience because this game has already sold close to 1 million copies in less than a month of release. So what Nintendo is doing is they're really being smart, is they're getting it in the hands of a lot of people, literally. And, you know, they're going to have other games that come out during the year that support this peripheral.
So they won't continue to still sell the game, the peripheral, the Rumble Pack independently?
Well, they'll sell additional Rumble Packs independently. So let's say you get one that comes with the game and you want some for your friends. In fact, Starfox has a 4-player dogfight mode that you can play and all go head-to-head and duke it out. So you can buy additional ones from Nintendo for $19.95.
Okay, first of all, is it hard to install? I mean, how do you do it?
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, I mean, it just pops right out.
This is the Rumble Pack right here?
Yeah, it just goes right in. That's the physical thing, and it just comes with the game. You stick it in the bottom of your controller, and you're up and running. And that's the really cool thing about it, is it's not some big complex peripheral. It's not a chair. It's not a vest. You know, it's something, you know, that's very small that just goes right into the controller, you know, and you're up and running.
And what does that cost?
Well, the Starfox with the Rumble Pack retails for around $69.95, and separate Rumble Packs from Nintendo are $19.95.
So in theory, you could buy a bunch of them for all your games.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it really adds to the game? Okay, it does feel like your pager's going off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, maybe I was hitting too many things, but does that really make the game better?
It puts you a little bit more into the game, and it's to the point right now where so many games are the same thing over and over again. You know, the little things like this, and I think Nintendo's not saying it's revolutionary. They're saying, you know, it's a cool novelty that we're going to support, and that's what's really neat about it, is you're not saying, oh, it's a totally new way of gaming or something like that. I mean, they're saying it's fun and it's interesting and it's different. You know what? And if you don't like it, just take it out and don't play with it, you know?
Will the success of the pack really depend on what kind of games come out next?
Pretty much. I mean, there are a couple of fighting games scheduled to support it this year.
Like
and,
what?
Clay Fighter 63 and a third is going to, and there's already talk of Nintendo somehow re-releasing some older games from the N64, like Wave Race or Turok, which will add support for it. So in terms of that, there's going to be a lot of titles out, you know, for the rest of the year where you'll be able to play with it. And already, apparently, a lot of gamers like it from the initial reaction because other companies are following suit. Sony has an analog stick in the works that's going to be a controller with it built in. And it's funny because...
Same thing, a vibrator.
Yeah, that'll vibrate. It's funny, though, because rumors were in Japan that the early beta version actually made it so it shocked you occasionally when you hit, but I think they took
that. That must have been a big
They're taking that out before the U.S. release, and a lot of third-party PC peripheral makers are going to be releasing force feedback control sticks for the PC.
You got to try this before they were actually released it.
Yeah, and it's funny because on the earlier version, I remember the vibrations being a lot stronger. Like after the first time I played it, like my hands were jittering for 5 minutes afterwards because I could still feel the vibration. So I think they toned it down a bit. And Nintendo says, obviously, you know, no one's going to, you know, just have really bad reactions from using it. But a lot of programmers are saying they're going to push the limits of making their game shake the hardest and adding the most vibration.
Okay, pick up the game, and I will get us out of here. Thanks a lot, Glenn, for joining us. The site returns right after this. So you never have the vibration because you actually can play.
Deb Null here saying, time again for